What's up, guys? It's not Alex, it's not Gels, but it's Dakota from Fitment Industries. And if it hasn't been pounded into your head enough, we have a giveaway with BC coilovers. Freaking awesome. We usually do wheels. You've seen them in the past. Now we're doing BC coilovers, all right? By picking up one of these dope shirts, I'll turn around. Super dope. By picking one of those up, you automatically get entered to win. It's literally that easy. You pick up a cool shirt, it looks cool, and you're entered to win a free set of coilovers. What's better than that? So I think we all have had, or maybe have had a friend who has had a car that's just a pain in the ass to work on. Or maybe it's just f***ing unreliable as soon as you put a tune on it. Dylan, I'm looking at you. Or maybe you know a fella that has paid way too much for an intake and exhaust because that's just what it costs for those damn Euro cars. On today's episode of the Build Sheet, we're talking about some of the worst types of cars to modify. So let's put a disclaimer out right away to squash the beef, not trying to piss all you guys off. If I mention any specific cars, these are not bad cars or cars you shouldn't own. They are simply just troubled, misunderstood. Okay, cut the shit, they're a pain in the ass one way or another, let's get into it. So if you're like me, you literally can't leave anything stock. Hell, I just bought a Jetta Sportwagen and I can't leave it alone, but unfortunately, it seems some cars are just better left untouched. One key thing to look at is the engine bay. Pop the hood on that bad boy and see how much room for activities there is. Some cars like the Honda S2000 have enough room to fit a horse, while other cars like the 3000 GT utilize every damn crevice in that engine bay. Now that's not a problem until you're ready to do some aftermarket goodies and you have to have the arms of a 4-year-old in order to get that nut you dropped and didn't hear hit the floor.
Oh my God. What happened? Did you drop it in the engine?
We've all been there. I see you, I feel you, I know the pain. It may not be a deal breaker on purchasing the car, just know your project car before diving into it. All right, so another thing to think about is everybody wants to be unique. Everybody wants to be original. I'm right there with you. So you pick out some cool car that nobody else has. You're the only kid on the block whipping the ride that no one has. You want to be that guy. Sounds all good, looks good on paper. And then you go to buy your first set of parts. No one makes parts for these cars because nobody has these cars and nobody f***ing took a second to think about that. So that's where we're currently at. Think about which car you're getting, and although maybe something isn't as unique, it'll have a lot more opportunities to make it unique. If you have a ton of modifications you can do, you can mix and match, do all kinds of different things, and you're not out there struggling to find parts. Because a lot of times those cars that are unique and don't have a lot out there are custom made parts, and then you're racking up the bill doing that. So just a thing to keep in mind, although we all want to be unique, it's tough. You want to get a car that has the modifications out there. I made the mistake to get a naturally aspirated Subaru Impreza hatchback. It was a 2018. I kind of wanted to get out of the car game. I just wanted to go on road trips and stuff. It was the dumbest thing I ever did, but the car just wasn't cut out for me. Anyways, I got the car. Being the car guy I am, I wanted to get out of the scene. I still wanted to modify it. Well, guess what? I went to look for parts and they were either OEM plus parts from Subaru that were insanely expensive, like $300 for just a f***ing grill, which I bought because I'm an idiot, or there just wasn't parts out there in general. I think Borla made an exhaust for it and that was about it. But you could take it to the exhaust shop, and like I was saying before, it just gets into custom stuff. So make sure you get a car that's gonna fit your needs and look into it a little bit before you impulse buy it. Another subject to think about when modifying your car is the reliability and how you're affecting it. Some cars, Subaru, when you start modifying, WRX, like to blow up. Now, I have no issues with you Subi bros, so don't get mad at me. I even considered buying one until I was on Craigslist and every single ad I came across said $60K on the body, $5K on the new built motor. You guys change out your motors more than I change out my underwear. Wait, but on a serious note, some cars just don't react well to tunes, intakes, some bigger turbos, and so on. Do some research before you start throwing money at the car and see what modifications your car can handle. Sometimes you need to build the motor, sometimes cars are just finicky with tunes and you have to go with a specific tuner. Either way, make sure you're putting on modifications the car can handle. Or make sure you're willing to have another engine on deck to swap in once your engine goes kapow! Some are actually pretty cheap, while others can be extremely expensive, which brings me to my next subject. I can't stress enough. Make sure you know what you're getting into. Some cars are pretty cheap to modify, while others will leave you collecting pennies to eat ramen for the rest of the week. For example, a Focus RS, kind of a more expensive car, but they're not that bad to modify. You can get a cold air intake for as cheap as $235, whereas if you look at a Golf R, you'll be hard pressed to find any intakes for under $300. The Euro market definitely seems to be more expensive when it comes to modification, at least here in the US compared to its KDM, JDM, USDM competitors. Now there's most definitely exceptions to that, but we're just talking about in general. Also, I have to bring up classic cars. A lot of times people want to restore a classic car, but don't really know what they're getting into. Take a look around and see what cars are common and which ones are getting really hard to find. Because your little weekend project car can turn into a 10-year commitment that gets nowhere because either parts are too expensive or you're playing I Spy on the internet trying to find them. But that about wraps it up for this episode of The Build Sheet. Comment down below any personal experiences you've had modifying cars that turned into a nightmare. I think we've all been there a little bit. But I'm Dakota from Fitment Industries. Make sure to check out the BC giveaway. Win yourself a set of coilovers and get a dope shirt. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the bell button so we can still keep making videos like this, and we'll talk to you later.